All right, Algebra AB, Mr. Johnson here again, working on 4 factoring review problems. The last couple days you learned about factoring trinomials, and we're going to do a quick 4 of them just to review. So number 4 here, factor x squared plus 11x plus 18. I'm going to do one area model just to get you thinking, and then we're going to try and do the next 3 without using the area model. So I know that x squared plus 11x plus 18 here, that 18 comes from multiplying 2 numbers in the top right and the bottom left, and the x squared comes from multiplying x by x. So what I need to fill out is think about what do those 2 values need to be, and these missing values in my binomials that multiply to that 18. Well, there's a few options here, right? We could have 6 and 3 multiply to 18, 18 and 1, 9 and 2, not to mention -6 and -3 also multiply to a positive 18. So what's important to remember here is that the yellow highlighted here, that's what adds up to that 11x in that middle term there. So I need 2 values here and here that are going to add to 11x. Well, negatives are out then because no 2 negative numbers are going to add to a positive 11x. So let's say I tried 6 and 3 here. Well, 6 and 3 multiply to 18. 6 times x would be 6x, 3 times x would be 3x. Now, if I add those together, I get a middle term of 9x, not 11x. I do not want that. So it can't be 6 and 3. I've got to try something else. Well, you're probably thinking, well, Mr. Johnson, if we want to add to 11x, how about 9 and 2, since those add to 11? Exactly. We want to choose numbers that are going to multiply to the third term, 18, but also add to the middle term, 11. So it doesn't matter if you put the 9 here or the 2 here and the 9 there. We get 2x, 9x. Those add to 11x in the middle. So my final product would be x squared plus 2x plus 9x, 11x, plus 18. That's what I want. So the answer would be the factored form, which would be written as x plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 9. If you have the 9 first and then the 2, that's okay. This could be written in reverse. But that is our final factored form. Remember, you can always check by either multiplying in the area model or double distributing everything back through here to see if you get back to that original answer. All right, let's move on to number 5 then. So I want to choose 2 numbers that are going to multiply to -14 in that bottom right box and add to a positive 5x in the middle. So I know that we're going to begin with x and x here. And I need to think what numbers multiply to 14 and some combination of positive and negative, because that's the only way to multiply to a negative number, and add to 5. Well, I know 7 and 2 and 14 and 1. What combination of positive and negative versions of these can add to a positive 5? Well, that means the bigger number is going to have to be positive. 7 and 2 have a difference of 5, so I'm thinking x plus 7 and x minus 2. That's going to give me x squared minus 2x plus 7x minus 14. In the middle there, that's my positive 5x, which is what I want. So I know that the correct factored form is x plus 7 times x minus 2. And again, if you wrote that as x minus 2 and x plus 7, that's fine. Just make sure the 7 is positive and the 2 is negative. X squared minus 3x minus 28. Here, I'm adding to a negative number, which means my negative factor of -28 should be the larger value here. So 28, that's 4 and 7, 28 and 1, 14 and 2. I like 4 and 7 because they have a difference of 3 there. So if we go x and x, we want a 7 and a 4. We just have to choose which is positive, which is negative. They're going to add to -3. I want the 7 to be negative and the 4 to be positive. -7 times 4 is -28. -7 plus 4 is -3. So in the middle term would be -3x. And there's my final answer. Again, you could write that as x plus 4 times x minus 7, as long as the 7 is negative and the 4 is positive. Last one here. I notice I've got 2 numbers that have to multiply to a positive 8. So they multiply to a positive, but then they have to add to a negative in the middle. So the only way I can add to a negative number and multiply to a positive number would be if both of these values are negative, because a negative times a negative is positive, negative plus a negative remains negative. So if I want to get 8, that's 1 and 8. How about 4 and 2? Wait, 4 and 2 can make 6 if I add them together. So how about x minus 4 and x minus 2? They multiply to positive 8, add to negative 6. Again, I can write that in any order. They're both negative. That's my answer. If you need more help with this, just go ahead and reach out to one of your teachers.